is loud on first base, and Mary Fogg gets ready to dig in. Mary Fogg's been a really good player in this conference for a long time, as the first offering by Heath is a called strike on the outside corner. Brian Sonak is calling balls and strikes today. Michael Binder is at first base, Brandon Hibbler at second, and Wade Ireland at third. Fogg slaps that one into left center field. Kaylin Freed gets over and makes the catch for out number one.
Mike Quinnipiac's going to do that all day. They're going to swing at strikes, and they're going to put the ball in play.
This is a team that does not strike out very much at all. This is a lineup that is going to make you play defense. Sophia Vega, who digs in now for the Bobcats, has been as productive as anybody in this Quinnipiac lineup, hitting .392 this season. And the first offering is up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. And Caroline, I know when you look at this stat line, there is one number in particular, even more impressive than .392 for you.
It's the 4 strikeouts on the year.
And 125 at bats. Runs up and down the lineup like that. That one shot. That's a nice stamp by Heath. Score at 1-3 for the second out.
That was a great play by Heath. That could have easily bounced over her head, bounced off her glove, but she makes a great play as a pitcher and throws it right to first.
And sometimes, Caroline, that's a tough call as a pitcher, too. You see the high hop, it's, okay, I want my infielders to play this one. If I jump forward, am I going to deflect it and slow it down, or am I just going to snag it and take control of it? And it was choice 3 for Heath on that one. So no rest for the weary. This lineup, Kennedy DeMont there swings the first pitch, grounded to short, scored 6-3. It is a 1-2-3 top of the first for Emily Heath. So after a half inning, Quinnipiac 0, Sacred Heart coming to bat in Game 2 of the 2026 MAAC Softball Championship. All right, I'm about to commit Caroline crime right here.
Oh boy, Mike, why you gotta do that to me?
No, because I want a comparison that I have to that I want to do here. Actually, wait a minute, that's the wrong bio of you. I'm gonna make a point at some point in this game when Quinnipiac's hitting.
I mean, they just swung at the first pitch like 3 times, so I don't hate it. I love that. It's the best pitch you're gonna see most of the time, and we do need it for today.
Back here, bottom of the first, is it Sacred Heart and Quinnipiac, the 4 seed and the 5 seed, and you were looking at Shannon Kendall in the circle for the Bobcats, and Quinnipiac made this championship last year, and it was largely due to the pitching of Sydney Horan, who was a workhorse, but Kendall now stepping into the #1 role for the Bobcats, and she has given her team a chance to compete game in and game out. 14 wins on the season. She has taken the ball as the #1 on this Quinnipiac staff. And she has a defense that can make some plays behind her, too, as Kendall takes her warm-up tosses. And for this Sacred Heart lineup, she's going to have to deal with a tough hitter at the top of the lineup in Ella Crone. LaCrone followed by Sierra Bender, Ella Stoops. These are hitters who have done some damage. You see head coach Pam London down third base, 3.5 decades with this Sacred Heart program. Did a great job getting the Pios into the championship. Sacred Heart has a terrific two-way player, Sam Kowalski, who has been out with injury for a month. At the time when she got hurt, Sacred Heart was in a difficult spot. That's ball 1 to LaCrone. The Sacred Heart had lost a game to Merrimack 1-0 in 9 innings, got swept in a doubleheader by Marist 1 month ago today in 2 of the craziest finishes you ever want to see, and then got swept in a 3-game series by Fairfield as LaCrone ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, that's a tough end of the schedule, though. I mean, they had a very tough end, but they did end up making the tournament by beating Quinnipiac.
And you looked at it at that point, and as LaCrone drives that one into center field, back goes Fogg. It is off the wall. LaCrone digging for second, and she is in with a stand-up double.
That's a great piece of hitting in a 2-0 count. She was sitting on something hard there, and she drove it right over the center fielder's head for a great start for Sacred Heart.
And that is Ella LaCrone in a nutshell. We'll get another look at that swing. That is the 17th double of the year for LaCrone. She is a doubles machine. So talking a little bit more about Sacred Heart. So they were in a difficult spot, and then it's okay, you're without Kowalski, and you have a tough finishing stretch to the schedule. But they went 6-2 coming down the stretch. Bender looks to bunt, and she fouls it back. This is Sierra Bender, the Sacred Heart second baseman. They played a Mount team that was contending to get into this championship, and they went down there and took 2 out of 3. Then we just saw Iona. Iona finished the year with a flourish. Sacred Heart swept them in a doubleheader on April 21st. And then we talked about the series with Quinnipiac at the end of the year that Sacred Heart went in the final day of the season not knowing if they would get in. So that's a fly ball into short center. In comes Fogg. She'll put that one away for the first out, and LeCrone has to hold.
Yeah, Mike, this has been a really strange MAAC season. Last week, we didn't even know who was qualified for the tournament until last Friday.
The interesting thing is that Marist, who we'll see at 5:30 today, had actually clinched first place before anybody else had clinched a playoff spot at that point. Then Fairfield followed, and then Iona and Quinnipiac clinched the second to last day of the season, as Ella Stoops, the Sacred Heart third baseman, who finished the season strong, is the hitter, and she takes ball 1. But going into the final day, it was 4 teams for 2 spots. It was Sacred Heart, it was Sienna, it was Mount, and it was Ryder. Sacred Heart not knowing until the last day if they would get. Not only do they get the 4 seed. Here's a ground ball to short. That's Apatiga. And the throw was dug out at first by Bombery for the second out. So LeCrone, after the leadoff double, remains at second, but a dangerous hitter coming up in the catcher, Charlene Davis.
Kendall's doing a great job of pitching to contact here and letting her fielders work for her.
And that's what she does. That Kendall does not get a ton of strikeouts, but she'll throw strikes. She'll keep this team in the game. And when you do that with that lineup behind you, well, that's how Quinnipiac gets into this championship. Quinnipiac started this year really strong, had a couple bumps in the road, but finished good enough to get in the championship as the number 5 seed, best seed the Bobcats have ever had in this tournament. That was off the corner of the count, 1-1 to Charlene Davis. Charlene Davis is a really good defensive catcher, and guess what? Not just a defensive catcher, she can get done with the bat. 315 average. Ground ball, that's off Kendall's glove, but it goes to second. Cox fields and score at 1-4-3 as the Bobcats get out of the bottom of the first unscathed. After 1, we have no score in Game 2 of the 2026 MAAC Softball Championship from Gartland Field. That's literally the play we were talking about.
MAAC second team from Sacred Heart University, Ella LeCrone, and from Quinnipiac University, Allie Hochstad. On the MAAC first team from Sacred Heart University, Sam Kowalski, and from Quinnipiac University, Kennedy Mott and Sophia Vega. Congratulations to this year's winners.
So these are not updated, right?
Was it?
These aren't really updated, are they?
No, those are wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what?
That's okay.
We'll go off here for that. We're 5-6 for Quinnipiac, due up in the top of the second, so they'll start it off with the left fielder, Allie Hochstadter. Hochstadter, a native of Morganville, New Jersey, and she has really emerged in her senior year. Emily Heath in the circle for the Pioneers. First pitch swinging against a soft liner, caught by Henke in short for out number 1. So the Bobcats have been aggressive early in the count, Caroline.
They have been, which I like. The first pitch is usually the best pitch you're going to see as a hitter, and I like their approach at the plate right now.
Now it's Natalia Apatiga, the Quinnipiac shortstop. We have some veteran hitters up and down this lineup. Apatiga hit .291 in the regular season. And she takes ball 1. Another Quinnipiac hitter who has a strikeout rate of less than 10%, 10 strikeouts in 103 at-bats. And it's truly been up and down this team that I don't know if I've seen a team that struck out that little. As the noises that you hear from Gartland Field, the freight train going by, making the run at 10:15 in the morning. As Apateka takes a strike, evening the count at 1-1. 1 out, top of the second, no score between the 5-seed Quinnipiac, the 4-seed Sacred Heart. Winner of this one's going to face Marist, the top seed, at 5:30. Here's the 1-1 upstairs. Quinnipiac as a team. And Caroline, I just find this remarkable. 92 strikeouts this year as a team and 1,070 at-bats.
That's pretty impressive.
We'll get to the math on that in a second. Here comes the 2-1. And it's 3-1. Deepest count we've seen so far today. Quinnipiac as a team has a strikeout rate of 8.5%. Now, Caroline's going to do another game with us today, so we're going to get into more of her career and her accomplishments, which she's going to love us for. As the 3-1, that is a called strike as this count runs full. Caroline Barada in her career struck out in just 7.5% of all of her plate appearances. This Quinnipiac team has a strikeout rate of 8.5% as a team, which as a team, it's just incredible. Well, you can see that with individuals as Apateka takes ball 4.
That was a good at-bat by Apateka. She saw a lot of pitches. She let her team see a lot of pitches, so we'll see how they adjust to her now.
So when you talk about approaches, too, again, part of not getting to strike 3 is not getting to strike 2, and sometimes not letting strike 1 get past you.
Right.
But it's been true up and down this lineup, and it brings up the second baseman, Kinsley Cox. Cox, first year from California. First pitch swinging, popped into center field, and that's put away by Freed for out number 2. So that'll bring up another California native, the junior catcher, Riley Potter. Riley Potter, 304 average this year, 8 strikeouts, 112 at-bats. He understands the assignment as well. Potter with 10 doubles this year as that one misses away. Apateka, the runner at first, she is the lone Quinnipiac base runner in this game. She drew a walk. Heath has not permitted a hit as of yet. Here comes the 1-0. That's a line drive that gets down into left center field. Apateka going for third. Hillary Smith is going to waiver. Here comes the throw. She's safe. It's an RBI double for Riley Potter, and the Bobcats lead 1-0.
What a great piece of hitting by Potter. She split the outfielders, and it was just enough to roll to the fence almost for Apateka to score from first.
And Hillary Smith waited until the last second to get the best view she could, whether to send Apateka as that ball split the gap perfectly. And here comes Apateka. No hesitation. She's in with the game's first run standing up. So now it's Aaron Bombry, the first baseman. And she takes ball 1. Bombry, a .241 hitter, couple homers and 20 RBIs hitting in the lower third of the lineup. Has 5 doubles as well. And she takes a strike, counts 1-1. Bombry hits out of a very closed stance. One you don't see a ton. One.
Yeah, Mike,
back to the screen.
Just as you mentioned, her stance is really closed. That pitch was a little on her hands there, and you could see she got jammed up a little bit, but she's got to make the adjustment.
And when you're doing that, you can really extend well, though, right?
Right.
That's the aim of it. Let's see where Heath goes on this 1-2. Went away, but missed too far away. Potter, the runner at second. That was her 20th RBI and 11th double of the season. 2-2. That's wide up the middle. Base hit. Here comes Potter. She'll score without a throw, and the Bobcats lead 2-0. RBI single for Aaron Bombry.
Yeah, Freed in center field. She looked like she had a little bit of difficulty picking that up with her glove, which allowed Potter to score.
We'll get another look. And, you know, I wonder if she was looking and make the throw before she had it in her glove. Now, at that point, you think that Potter is probably going to score unless it's a perfect play at that point.
Right. I think you have to send her in that situation.
That's a line drive that's caught by Stoops at third off the bat, and Noel Reed for the final out in the top of the second. But the Bobcats strike for 2. And after 1.5, the score, Quinnipiac 2, Sacred Heart 0 in Game 2 of the 2026 MAAC Softball Championship.
The all-new Bally's Atlantic City has new rooms, new restaurants, and more.
Enjoy a night of fine dining at Park Place Prime, where Jerry Longo's meatballs and martinis.
Then stay in our brand-new Bally's Hotel Tower, inspired by the heart and soul of the AC Beach and Boardwalk.
These contemporary and clean rooms are reflective of the bright and soothing coastline.
So book your stay today. Visit Bally'sAC.com.
Plus, don't miss happy hour at Park Place Prime or Phil's Carousel Bar.
As an official sponsor of the NFL, Jersey Mike's wants you, Eli Manning, to be our new spokesperson.
I'm in. I love Jersey Mike's.
Hold on. Jersey Mike's new spokesperson? You're stealing my job.
I don't want to steal anything.
Lies. Eli's.
I just love these subs.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer. He's very prompt.
Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Hey, that's my line. A sub above.
Maybe. It's a beautiful day to be out on the Hudson River. The sun is out. Take your boat out. Enjoy. Maybe you wish it was a little warmer, but you know what? Tough to complain when the sun's out in May in Poughkeepsie. Mike Ferraro, along with Caroline Barada, as away from the river and on the diamond. Quinnipiac strikes for 2 in the top of the second, and the Bobcats lead their in-state rival Sacred Heart by a count of 2-0. Alexa Barbera, first pitch swinging, is a soft liner, caught by Kinsley Cox at second for out number 1. Well, both of these pitchers, Caroline, had been around the plate, so it lends itself to a lot of first pitch swinging.
Yeah. And there's Kendall again, staying in the strike zone, letting her fielders do the work.
So that'll bring up Nicole Hankey, the shortstop. Hankey, one of 7 seniors on this Sacred Heart team. They got to participate in a special ceremony prior to leaving campus to come to Poughkeepsie. Is big swing but no contact, and the count is even at 1-1. So on Tuesday, Sacred Heart had their senior brunch. That's seemingly every sports information director I talked to across this conference the last couple of days, there was some sort of senior event this week. Maris had its senior award show Monday night. Had Sienna have something a couple of days ago. Sacred Heart has a brunch that they do on Tuesday, but Sacred Heart's graduation is this weekend.
Oh, wow.
So, Tuesday, prior to leaving campus, there was a ceremony for that as the 2-1 is fouled toward the Sacred Heart dugout by Hankey, making it 2-2. So, with the MAAC championship in track and field also this weekend, Sacred Heart held a special graduation ceremony for its 7 softball seniors as well as its track and field seniors. Hankey got to have a part of that. So did Emily Heath, the pitchers. Emily Heath, Nicole Hankey, Sydney Hess, Natalie Aiello, Kaylin Freed, Charlene Davis, Sam Kowalski. But Hankey goes down on strikes for the second out. First strikeout for Kendall. We'll get another look. Pitch that sunk out of the zone for strikeout number 1. So LaCroix doubled to lead off the bottom of the first for Sacred Heart. But since then, Kendall has retired 5 straight. As now this is Catherine Burris, the designated player, who takes ball 1. Those names that we read off for Sacred Heart were part of that graduation ceremony. You can tell one reason why this team is in the championship. This senior class has been pretty good in terms of helping them get there. As now the count 2-0 to Burris. Of course, Sam Kowalski out with an injury. She was super. The Pioneers were near the top of the standings, as that one is chopped to third, fielded by Vega, throw to first in time. Shannon Kendall with a shutdown inning after the Bobcats get 2 in the top of the second. So after 2, it's 2-0 Quinnipiac in Game 2 of the 2026 MAAC Softball Championship.
The all-new Bally's Atlantic City has new rooms, new restaurants, and more.
Enjoy a night of fine dining at Park Place Prime, where Jerry Longo's meatballs and martinis.
Then stay in our brand new Bally's Hotel Tower, inspired by the heart and soul of the AC Beach and Boardwalk.
These contemporary and clean rooms are reflective of the bright and soothing coastline.
So book your stay today. Visit Bally'sAC.com.
Plus, don't miss happy hour at Park Place Prime or Phil's Carousel Bar.
As an official sponsor of the NFL, Jersey Mike's wants you, Eli Manning, to be our new spokesperson.
I'm in. I love Jersey Mike's.
Hold on. Jersey Mike's new spokesperson? You're stealing my job.
I don't want to steal anything.
Lies. Eli's.
I just love these subs.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer. He's very prompt.
Jersey Mike's, a sub of...
Hey, that's my line. A sub above.
Did we mention it's a nice day here on the Marist campus? A welcome change from yesterday. It looks like we're going to have a couple of nice days on tap, as it's Quinnipiac and Sacred Heart. This is the second game of the 2026 MAAC Softball Championship. Mike Ferraro along with Caroline Barada, top of the third. First pitch swinging by Mary Fogg. One hopper to short, one away.
That was a good piece by Fogg. I mean, she hit it right on the screws, just right to the shortstop.
Sophia Vega now the hitter. Vega out on a comeback or her first time up, and Sophia Vega was really the engine that made this go for the Bobcats this year. Now, a number of productive hitters up and down the lineup. We're looking at the stat sheet right now, and you see 5 in the 300s in batting average, which is impressive in its own right, as he took something off that one, and it's fouled at the plate. Vega at 392, but she was in the 400s for a majority of this season. Vega, a first-team All-MAAC selection. The 0-1 misses a little bit low, make it 1-1. On March 29th, she hit her high water mark of the year in batting average-wise. She was hitting 451 at that point.
That's very impressive in the month of March.
The 1-1. That's line to center field, and it's over the head of Freed. Digging for 2 is Vega. She's in with a stand-up double.
Again, there's a reason why she's atop the statistical leaders on her team. She makes great contact, goes right over the head of the center fielder. She cruises into second there.
And Caroline, what's interesting about that type of a play, because now I know, obviously when you were at Marist, you played shortstop, and more shortstop, but there was a time, where it was, is Caroline a center fielder, is the first offering to DeMott, misses up and in. That ball looked like it was almost right at Freed, and if you're playing in the outfield, that could be the toughest ball to play, isn't it?
It sure is.
And it almost looked like that maybe Freed wasn't sure where that was going for a second, as now the count to DeMott is even at 1-1, but that just took off the bat of Vega, her 6th double of the year. She has 4 triples as well. That's not a surprise with her speed and her contact ability. DeMott has been a terrific RBI bat this year, as that one's fouled away right side, count 1-2. Kennedy DeMott coming into today, 376 average, 5 homers, 37 runs batted in. By far and away the leader in this Quinnipiac lineup, and in a conference that has a number of good catchers. She was selected first team All-MAAC at the position, and deservedly so. That is popped and caught by the second baseman Bender for the second out, and Vega retreats back to the bag. Good move by her. You don't want to get doubled off on that one.
Yeah.
Number 23, Ali Hochstader.
So here's Ali Hochstader. Hochstader lined out to short her first time up, and she takes strike 1. Hochstader really emerged from Quinnipiac this year. She had been a part-time player her first 3 years, but now part of the everyday lineup, and she's hitting well over 300. That one's grounded to first. It's fielded there by LaCrone, and she'll take it to the bag for out number 3. So Heath works around the 1-out double, and after 2.5 to score, Quinnipiac 2, Sacred Heart 0 in Game 2 of the 2026 MAAC Softball Championship.
After 5 years of military service, Staff Sergeant Zaragoza is still setting goals.
Come on, Vincent.
But mostly for her son.
You got this.
She was ready for more family time. She was ready for the reserve.
Aha! I knew it! You are stealing my Jersey Mike's gig.
Danny, it's just because Jersey Mike's is an official sponsor of the NFL. I'm not taking your gig.
Now you're taking my look.
This is how I dress.
My glasses. I've been looking for those.
I wear glasses. I have astigmatism.
I'll give you astigmatism.
Ready for you on set, Eli.
I gotta go.
Oh. This ain't over, Manning.
Jersey Mike's, a sub of...
Hey, that's my line. A sub above.
At Iona University...
So the center fielder, Kaylin Freed, well, she comes up to Michael Jackson, says, you want to be starting something. Well, she wants to be starting a rally as the Bobcats with a 2-run lead over their in-state rivals going to the bottom of the third. And Freed takes a strike. So Kaylin Freed will be followed by Jess Brown, the left fielder. Then you get back to the top of the lineup in LeCrone, who is dangerous out of the number 1 spot.
Right, you hope for LeCrone to drive him in.
Grounded to short, 1 hop, fielders across, 1 away. That was a high hop, and it was a good job by Apatiga, who stayed with it. Caroline, you might have seen a couple of high hops after playing this position for 5 years on this field.
Yeah, she read that ball nicely. She stayed with it, and it's important to get that first out of the inning.
Apatiga, senior from Corona, California. A couple of senior-laden teams who these seniors have stepped up for both of these squads. As it's the left fielder, Jess Brown, who digs in. And Brown takes ball 1. Brown, a junior from Clifton, New Jersey. Went to Morris Catholic High School. 265 hitter in the regular season. Left side out of play, that'll leave him the count at 1-1. William Rosen is part of our broadcast crew as well. As we go to the 4th inning, we will hear from both head coaches with William. Talk to Pam London before the top of the 4th, and Hillary Smith going in the bottom half. And if you're sitting along the third base side, you might want to be taking notice right now. Count 1 and 2 to the number 9 hitter in the Sacred Heart lineup. Ball 2. Sacred Heart joined the MAAC last season. Pioneers were the number 8 seed in the championship. And the first day of the championship last year was a 1-game playoff. As that's a ground ball, Apatiga will get another chance, throw over, and she's safe. Brown beat it down the line. That was a routine ground ball to short, and Brown just flew down the first baseline.
She did. Apatiga had to get rid of it quickly, and she obviously didn't get rid of it quick enough, but Brown does her job and gets on base.
So you take a look. Brown the slap out of the box, and she does the job. Get somebody on base for El LeCrone at the top of the lineup. That one is hit high and deep to left, and we are tied. El LeCrone, a 2-run homer. It's 2-2 in the 3rd. Well, Caroline, we've gotten the full El LeCrone experience in her first 2 at-bats. She just tagged that one.
Yeah, that was a pretty impressive swing right there. First pitch, too. She didn't even swing all the way.
The second baseman, number 32, Sierra Bender.
So Brown does her job. She gets down the line quickly. And LeCrone, who's been such a good power bat at the top of this lineup, ties the game. These two teams had a fascinating series last weekend, as it's the second baseman, Sierra Bender, who's digging in. And the count is even to her at 1-1. I don't know how many times. I think I've seen it once in my time at Marist that a team that gets run-ruled in the first game of a doubleheader turns around and run-rules the other team in the second game. As that's a called strike, making the count 2-1. But that's what happened last weekend with these teams that after Quinnipiac run-ruled Sacred Heart in Game 1 of their series on Friday, in Game 2 of the doubleheader and the series, Sacred Heart turned the tables on Quinnipiac. And then Sacred Heart won a wild one in Game 3 to clinch the spot in the championship. 5 runs in the first inning. Quinnipiac fought back to take the lead, and then Sacred Heart pulls it out with 4 runs in the 7th. There's a ground ball short. Apatiga fields it to her left, fires to first, and it's in the dirt. Bombry not able to make the play, but Bender got down the line quickly as well. That was a tough play by Apatiga. So the Bobcats have gotten on 3 runners in a row here.
I thought Apatiga actually made a really nice play on that ball. There was nothing really she could do.
As the hitter is Sierra Bender, and she's going to take a strike. That is actually going to be ruled an E6. Now, that was an interesting play there. As you mentioned, Apatiga did have to take a couple steps to her left. The throw, however, might have gotten her, and that's the differentiation potentially in that play.
Yeah, that's a tough play to make as a shortstop. I really actually thought she got her body around it very nicely. I just thought Bender beat it down the line.
So Bender on first with 1 out. Freed was retired to start the inning. Then it was the infield single by Brown. Lacrone the homer, and now Bender reaches on the error. So Stoops is facing an 0-2 count. That pitch is outside. DeMott fakes a throw to first. And by the way, I'm going to tell you one thing I don't think we're going to see in this game. People running. Because these 2 catchers won't let you. DeMott and Davis are both outstanding at that. 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. And Kendall gets a big out number 2 against the number 3 hitter in the Sacred Heart lineup. Speaking of catchers, Charlene Davis digs in. So DeMott behind the plate has been around 50% all season in terms of throwing out base runners. That one's in the dirt, but that's a good block by DeMott.
It's a great block by her.
Meanwhile, Charlene Davis has been in the top 20 in the country in terms of throwing out runners herself. Count 1-0 to her. Poked right side, but a foul ball.
Yeah, that was a great block by DeMott in the previous pitch. She needs to do everything she can to have that runner stay at first and not get into scoring position.
Charlene Davis is part of this talented senior class for Sacred Heart, another California native, and she's hitting .315 this year, and she's been productive from the RBI standpoint with 24. So as Caroline mentioned, for Quinnipiac, let's keep Bender out of scoring position, and that blocked in just that. The 1-1, that misses away. Alexa Barbera awaits on deck, and Davis can extend this inning. Two-1. Grounded to third, and it's not able to be dug out by Vega. Those chops are a tough play. If you're a third baseman, it's essentially a do-or-die type play. And Davis reaches with 2 out.
Yeah, that's a tough play for Vega in that spot. Like Mike said, it is a do-or-die. You have to go for that ball at full speed.
That is going to be ruled an E5 on the thought of Vega would have had enough time if she felt it cleanly. First pitch swing, there's a ground ball to second. Score that one 4-3 for the final out off the bat of Barbera. But on the 2-run homer by El Lacrone, Sacred Heart has drawn even. After 3, it's 2-2 from Poughkeepsie. Go to William Rosen.
You got 2 runs back off that 2-run blast from Ella Crone. What did that bring to the middle innings heading into those?
I think it brings our confidence back that we just got to get our bats going, and that's what we knew coming in here, that it was going to be an offensive game right here. Pitching is going to be solid, and it's those who can keep their hot bats going is going to win.
What have you seen so far, pitching staff?
I love the way Em looks right now. She's solid. She's hit her spots. She's looking like a senior.
Great. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Guys?
All right, William, thank you. As we get ready to start the top of the 4th inning, it's Apatiga, Kinsley Cox, and Riley Potter. This was the part of the lineup that did the damage for the Bobcats to get 2 runs in the top of the 2nd. It was Apatiga who started it with a 1-out walk. She came around to score.
Shortstop, number 27, Natalia Apatiga.
First pitch swinging, that's into short right field. Barbera is there, 1 away in the top of the 4th. So I'll bring up the second baseman, Kinsley Cox. Cox flew out to center, her first time up.
The second baseman, number 2, Kinsley Cox.
Emily Heath getting the call in the circle for the Pios. And that one misses outside. That she has had to ascend to the number 1 spot in the rotation with Kowalski being injured. But she had some big games for this team coming down the stretch. In that Game 2 victory against Quinnipiac last weekend, just allowed 1 unearned run over 6 innings, gave up 5 hits. Cox swings and misses that pitch out of the zone, making the count 1-1. Good job by Heath of getting her to chase. Emily Heath, an academic all-district selection each of the last 2 years. Count 1-1, make it 2-1. Of course, Sacred Heart, prior to last season, a member of the Northeast Conference. And in 2024, Emily Heath was a 2nd-team All-NEC selection. She's had some big years and some big games for this team in the past. And now being called on as a senior to help lift up this rotation. That one's well placed, and the count's 2-2.
That's a great pitch right there. 2-1 count, she comes in on her. I don't think she was expecting it.
You'll constantly see pitchers throwing in the bullpen. That's Jasmine Klein for Quinnipiac, but you figure Kendall will get a lot of rope because that's what they do. Off speed on the 2-2 pitch, popped toward the Quinnipiac dugout, and it lands in there on a hop. Thankfully on a hop, and thankfully not on a line. Thankfully, there's a protective screen there, which we've seen that come into existence in recent years for safety purposes.
The 4th game, I'm not weird.
So the count 2-2 with 1 out to Kinsley Cox. Riley Potter, who drove in the first run of the game, is on deck. 2-2. Just off the corner. Good look by Cox.
That is a good look by Cox. She's really working this count.
We mentioned how rarely Quinnipiac as a team strikes out. The Bobcats have not struck out at all through 3 1/3 innings. That one's driven into right field, but again, Barbera is there. 2 away. They both landed in Barbera's glove here in the 4th. So now the hitter is Riley Potter, who had an RBI double her first time up. So we've talked about the Bobcats' approach, their lack of strikeouts. They have a new hitting coach, Zen Penny, who's highly thought of around this conference as the first pitch misses upstairs. Zen Penny worked for a couple years in the Arizona Diamondbacks organization, and you can see some advanced hitting approaches for this Bobcats team. They fare well with 2 strikes. A lot of times, as we've seen, they don't even get to 2 strikes.
Yeah, it seems as if his hitting philosophy might be early and often in the count.
And you look at both of these teams, and they're really emerging in the landscape of MAAC softball. So a fun one to watch after they just played each other last weekend, and 2 teams on the rise here. As the 2-0 is popped right side. Will Barbera be 3 for 3? No, she won't, because Bender, the second baseman, goes out and makes a slide and catch. So it's a shutdown inning for Emily Heath. 1, 2, 3 in the top of the fourth, and after 3.5, we're tied at 2.
You'll give me the...
Let's go to William Rosen with Quinnipiac head coach Hillary Smith.
2-2 heading into the back end of this one. How is Quinnipiac going to end up in the lead?
We're good. I think we just are some hits, but I feel good about where we're at right now, and I feel like we look really good.
Great. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much. Go Bobcats.
Mike?
So we go to the bottom of the fourth. Thank you, William. With the score tied at 2-2, and it will be 6, 7, and 8 in the Sacred Heart lineup. Nicole Henke, Catherine Burris, and Kaylin Freed.
The shortstop, number 3, Nicole Henke.
Goes off into Henke, misses well. So Caroline, top of the fourth, which always tough to tell a story when it's a 1, 2, 3 inning, even tougher when you have as much early in the count swinging as these teams have had today, about how these two teams are truly emerging in this conference. Is the count now 2-0 to Henke. That prior to last season, Quinnipiac, which had joined the MAAC in the 2014 season, had made this championship just once, and they made a run. It was in 2016 right here at Garland Field. 2-0, misses low and in, count 3-0. As the number 6 seed that year, the Bobcats, with 2 shutouts, got to the winner's bracket final that year, faced Marist, got shut out, and then were eliminated in the 3rd place game. And Henke draws a leadoff walk on 4 pitches. And then the Bobcats did not make the championship again until last year. That largely on the left arm of Sydney Horan got back to the championship, got in as the number 7 seed, lost a 1-0 game to Ryder. As we are going to have a conference here as Burris talking to Pam London down third. Another conference in the circle between Kennedy DeMott and Shannon Kendall. So Quinnipiac as a number 5 seed, the best seed they've ever had in the championship. And Sacred Heart, 2nd year in the MAAC. They have an impressive facility on campus as well there. Made the championship last year as an 8 seed, lost 1-0 in the 1-game playoff to Canisius, and now getting a 4 seed this year. Burris shows bunt, that one's foul. A team that started the year strong. Sam Kowalski was a big reason why. They hit a tough stretch early in April, but without Kowalski, won 6 out of 8 against some good teams coming down the stretch, and that win the last day of the season got the Pioneers up to a 4 seed and the right to be the home team in this matchup. Burris shows bunt early again. Will she bring it back? Yeah, she does, but she chops it foul.
Yeah, Mike, as you were saying, a 56-game season, it's a lot of ups and downs, and Sacred Heart has showed that this year with their injuries, with their rising, emerging, like you were saying, and they have a chance to emerge in this tournament, too.
Yeah, over the course of 55 games, you see that, and even it's tougher in the 28-game MAAC season that sometimes a bad week can really hurt you, but both of these teams have recovered from difficult stretches that happened in April. And that is a swing and a miss, and Burris goes down on strikes for out number 1, and that is Kendall's 3rd strikeout of the morning.
Yeah, that's a big out for Kendall right there. I think Sacred Heart was really just trying to move the runner over into scoring position, and Kendall shut that down.
So now it's Freed. Chopped wide to 3rd. Quinnipiac with 2 in the top of the 2nd. Sacred Heart answered with 2 in the bottom of the 3rd on the homer by LaCrone. This is the 8-hitter in the Sacred Heart lineup, so 1 more Pioneer reaches and you have a chance to get it back to LaCrone again. That one skied into right field. Noel Reed is back, puts it away for out number 2. So it's Jess Brown who was the catalyst of the Sacred Heart damage last inning. Hit a ground ball to short and just really got out of the box quickly and beat the throw to get on. And then LaCrone homered 1 batter later. Now the mission, get it back to LaCrone again. Hankey, the runner on first.
Yeah, you know, Brown did a good job of turning over the lineup the last time she was up, and let's see if she can do it again. That's her job.
Hankey reached on a 4-pitch walk, but she has remained at first after the strikeout of Burris and then the fly out by Freed. Chop foul toward the Quinnipiac dugout. Coming up next, we'll have our first elimination game of the championship. Whoever loses this one has to turn around and play right away against Siena. And the loser of that game will be eliminated from the championship. At 3 o'clock, this will be a good one. Iona, Fairfield. Joe's bunt brings it back, and DeMott fakes the throw. Count 2-1. So Brown trying to the bomb part of the line. No. 2-1. Chop foul again, right side. As we tried to recover from the rain yesterday, and no rain in the forecast today, finishing up 1 game, and the goal is to get 4 more done. If there can be 4 played tomorrow, then the championship is caught up 9 games after 3 days. That one is poked left side foul.
Yeah, Mike, shout out to our grounds crew for getting this field ready by 9 a.m. It didn't look very promising yesterday, but they were able to do it.
Shout out to you for a lot of the work you did, too. There were a lot of people who had a hand in that. And Hunter Brandt does not get nearly enough credit for a lot of the work that he does, so this is the least we could do to thank him. As that one misses low. Randy Strickland for everything he does.
Yes.
The grounds crew who is constantly working on this field with those fine gentlemen. And then everyone who shows up to pull tarp early in the morning. Some people are not experts on it by any stretch. Some people know a little more about it, and the goal is to listen to them. That's a ground ball short fielded by Apatiga, and Brown is retired for out number 3. So Hankey, after the leadoff walk, is stranded at first. We're through 4, and the score is 2-2 in Game 2 of the 2026 MAAC Softball Championship. Is the 2026 MAAC Softball Championship. So says the video board at the new track facility at Marist, which was not completed at the time of last year's championship, but shining and glowing and wishing us well from afar, just down the track. Mike Ferraro along with Caroline Bryan. You see the impressive zoom out there with the track facility and the turf field there. Marist hosted its first track meet 3 weeks ago. Aaron Bombry is the hitter. And the count's 0-1 to her. So it's Bombry, Noel Reed, Mary Fogg. This is the 8-9-1 lineup pocket for the Bobcats. Working against Emily Heath, who after giving up 2 runs at the top of the second has held it down. Cut on and miss, count 0-2. Emily Heath has given up just 3 hits, has walked just 1, looking for her first strikeout of the day. But as we mentioned, against this Bobcats lineup, that is a tall task. That one misses away. Quinnipiac, a team that started this year on an impressive hot streak, also encountered some trouble in April and then recovered. Cut on and miss, strike 3 as Heath has her first. And now it's the number 9 hitter, Noelle Reed. She lined out to Ella Stoops at third, her first time up. Quinnipiac started 10-1 in MAAC play this year, as that's ball 1. The Bobcats were 13-3 in early April. Had an impressive doubleheader sweep against Manhattan, but then dropped the 3rd game to the Jaspers. And that started a little bit of a tough stretch, as on the 1-0. The count is now 2-0. Got swept in a doubleheader by Fairfield, then had a bye weekend. So the Bobcats went a week and a half without playing a MAAC game, then swept by Marist in a 3-game series that the first 2 games were both decided by 1 run. 2-0, make it 3-0.
Yeah, Mike, like I said, these 55-game seasons, a lot of highs and lows, and both these teams have gone through that, especially during conference play.
But then the Bobcats were able to recover. They, too, were able to win a series against Mount St. Mary's, as that is a called strike, making the count 3-1. And then in a position where, even though Quinnipiac won 1 of the 3 games against Sacred Heart last weekend, that one was enough to get them into the championship, as Quinnipiac was able to clinch going into the final day as the 3-1. Oh, Reed was taking a couple of steps to go toward first, and Brian Sonak said not so fast. The count's 3-2. So Heath just recorded her first strikeout and now has battled her way back from a 3-0 count. That one's chopped left side, and Stoops is not able to come up with it. That's the second time today that we've seen a chopper to third. There was one going the other way. Stoops not able to come up with that one, and Reed is able to reach with one away. That's going to be scored B5.
Yeah, Reed does a good job in a 3-2 count, just putting her bat on the ball and making something happen there.
Now, to show you just the amount of early in the count action Quinnipiac has had, we're at the top of the 5th with 1 out. As that one is grounded by Fogg, Lacrone is able to stop it. Then she's just going to stand there and wait for Lacrone to tag her for out number 2 as Reed gets the second. Is never tell any story with all the first pitch swinging that we have going on here. So now, let's update this. With 4 2/3 innings pass, Emily Heath has thrown 53 pitches to this point. Efficiency has been the name of the game with all the hitters swinging at the first pitches. And this is now the 3rd time through the Quinnipiac lineup as it's Vega. Big spot in this game. That's skied right field, but it lands harmlessly in foul territory. So big spot here for Heath and the Pioneers. Vega doubled her last time up. We mentioned she's an impressive hitter, 395 coming into today, but you have the 2 Sacred Heart first-team All-MAAC selections back-to-back here in Vega and DeMont with a second-team selection, Hochstadter, in the cleanup spot. So for Heath, can she cut the damage here? Might be the key to the game. She's ahead 0-2 now. But, as we've talked about, Vega is, and it's not too much of a stretch to say it based on the numbers, almost impossible to strike out.
Right, she makes contact up there.
Just 4 in 125 at-bats coming into today, so now make it 4 of 127. But I could add 125 plus 2. 0-2, misses away. Candy DeMont, the catcher, awaits with shin guards on deck. Here comes the 1-2. That's in the dirt. That's a good block by Davis.
It's a great block by Davis. Vegas, she's a very disciplined hitter up there. I had a feeling she knew that off-speed was coming. She waited on it, and she just saw it in, and it was in the dirt.
How much of everything is pitch recognition? That one's in the dirt, and while Davis kept it in front of her, it scooted far enough away for Reed to get to third. Well, that makes that last block even more impressive then, too. Count has worked full, as we'll get another look. Davis tried to smother it, but it just came up. So Reed will get to third. Payoff pitch to Vega. That's lined into center field, but it's snagged by Freed for out number 3. So Reed is able to get to third, but she's stranded there, and after 4.5, we are tied at 2 in Poughkeepsie. You were looking at the Siena Saints, who played the first game this morning. They fell to Iona, but they will come back and play at 12:30 against whoever loses this one. But as you can see on the scoreboard, nobody's losing right now. It's a 2-2 tie between Quinnipiac and Sacred Heart as we go to the bottom of the 5th, and we go to the top of the Sacred Heart lineup, and it's the dangerous Ellen Crone who starts it off. Crone, 2 at-bats, 2 extra base hits. Double off the wall, homer to left center, her first 2 times up.
Yeah, she's seeing Kendall very well right now. She had 2 very hard hit balls in her previous at-bats.
Ground ball destroyed. Oh no, that hit Apatiga right in the face. Lacrone is digging for second, and she's going to get there, but that took a high hop, and now Apatiga is going to need to be tended to. Thankfully, she looks to be okay. We are going to have a pinch runner for Sacred Heart. That's Natalie Aiello, another member of the senior class, who's going to get out there and run at second base. You know, again, we've talked about some of the hops, and Apatiga just trying to get in front of the ball, and you're just glad that she's okay out there, as Sierra Bender is now the hitter. That was ruled a hit, so we're throwing out 2 doubles. Bender deep into left field, but Hochstadter is there, and she makes the catch for out number 1. I'll tell you, got to see Allie Hochstadter play live when Maris played Quinnipiac in the 3-game series in mid-April, and Hochstadter just put on a show in that series, especially the Friday doubleheader at the plate and with her glove. She made one of the best catches I've seen all season on a fly ball in the gap. It was hit by Lily Ramelis that turned out to be a sacrifice fly, the winning run of the game, but Hochstadter in that play, that would have been a double if she didn't get it. So now the hitter is Ella Stoops, and she takes strike 1. And now we are going to have a visit in the circle. Count 0-1 with 1 out here to Ella Stoops.
Yeah, Mike, if Stoops finds any grass out there, you're going to think that Aiello is going to score from second.
And that's the name of the game. That's why she's there right now. Stoops, a first year from Livonia, Michigan. She stepped up last weekend in that series against Quinnipiac. She went 4 for 4 in that second game. And again, that was the one that after Sacred Heart got run ruled in that first game. They needed to make something happen just to get in the championship. And the first year leads the charge going 4 for 4 in the game that the Pioneers turned out to win by the run rule. That's a ground ball up the middle, gets through for a base hit. Here comes Aiello. Here comes the throw. It's cut off, and Sacred Heart has a 3-2 lead. Well, Caroline, you called that one, that if it found grass, Pam London was going to be aggressive with the send. The pinch runner was coming all the way, and the throw was cut off, and the Pios are in the lead.
Yeah, great piece of hitting by Stoops, just right back up the middle, and Aiello springs home with no throw.
I liked Aiello's base running there in terms of how she cut the bag, too, right, Caroline? That she took about as efficient of a route as she could get, cutting it on the inside. There's a ground ball. That's a nice play by Vega. Goes to second for one. Back to first in time. The Bobcats turn a 5-4-3 double play to get out of the fifth. But the Pioneers take the lead, but the Bobcats, no more damage due to that 5-4-3 play started by Vega. We got a great one on our hands in Poughkeepsie as Sacred Heart leads 3-2. Run, run, run. The track getting a workout at Marist. The MAAC Track and Field Championships are this weekend as well in Emmitsburg, Maryland. So as athletes across the MAAC getting geared up for that, the MAAC Softball Championship taking place here at Gartland Field. And we go to the top of the sixth and what's been a really good game between Quinnipiac and Sacred Heart, which we expected, Caroline. It's 3, 4, and 5 in the Quinnipiac lineup due up. I'm Mike Ferraro along with Caroline Barada. Sacred Heart just took the lead in the bottom of the fifth with a strong part of their lineup up, but the Bobcats have a big part of their lineup up, and it starts with the catcher, Candy DeMott. Emily Heath with the 2-0 count against DeMott. DeMott, Quinnipiac's leader in RBIs, a first-team All-MAAC selection behind the dish. The MAAC has a number of really good catchers, and DeMott the cream of the crop this year. That's one skied right side and out of play. You talk about the catchers. Davis, her counterpart at Sacred Heart, she's a really good catcher on both sides of the ball. Abby Cruz at Ryder, big fan of her game. And we'll see at 5:30, Maris's Bella Mannery has had the best season of her career this year. Tough to pick just two, but it was DeMott and Cruz who got the nods. Line drive into right field, and that'll be a base hit. Barbera came up throwing, but DeMott got down the line in time. So Candy DeMott with her first hit of this morning, and the Bobcats have the leadoff runner on at the top of the sixth. Just the fourth hit they've gotten off Heath.
It's a great piece of hitting by DeMott, taking it to right field on an outside pitch. She does her job and sets the table.
So we'll have a pinch runner at first base. This is Mac Davis who will come in for DeMott. And now it's Hochstadter, who's 0 for 2 in this game. But as we mentioned, the New Jersey native, a career year in left field this year. Can she get a big hit in a big spot here? First offering to her. Back to Heath. She'll take the sure out at first for out number 1.
I mean, Mike Heath didn't even look to throw to second and get the lead runner there.
Was wondering about that as well. And in that situation, too, you have to turn and look, and if you rush, you don't know what's going to happen. So Heath just said, I'm going to take the one that I know, the one that's in front of me. But what the Bobcats have done now is get a runner in scoring position with one out, down one. So here's Apatiga, the Quinnipiac shortstop, and first and foremost, great to see that she's okay. That was a tough one that she took off the bat with Crone last inning. Now, Apatiga walked in the second inning. She scored the first run of this game, and then she flew out in the fourth. Quinnipiac dugout is active, and we are going to have a visit in the circle. Sacred Heart coaching staff, Pam London, who played at Sacred Heart as the head coach, her staff, Betsy Harvey, Casey Talsick, Ray Jackson. Pioneers have been a great addition to this conference across a number of sports. They've contended. And again, the softball facility that they have there is truly top-notch. Pioneers, again, making this championship last year as the 8th seed. Now number 4 this year, looking for their first win in the MAAC championship in school history. 5 outs away from doing so, but trying to hold on to a run lead. Count 1-1 to Apatiga.
It's a good hold by Apatiga there.
So now a 2-1 count to the Quinnipiac shortstop. Kinsley Cox, the second baseman, awaits on deck. That one just misses in as Heath changed speeds, and the count is now 3-1.
Apatiga's sitting in a good count to drive a ball.
Well, she's a veteran hitter, and she's had some success over the course of her career in doing just that. Get one you like, jump on it. Not that one, though. That's upstairs for ball 4. Just the second walk issued by Heath. And now it's first and second for Kinsley Cox. Cox 0 for 2 in this one. She flew out to Freed in center in the second, and then Barbera in right in the fourth. Riley Potter, who has an RBI double, is on deck. And now Heath comes back with strike 1 to start this at bat. Sacred Heart, 16-11 in MAAC play this year. That one misses upstairs, and the Bobcats 16-12. Both of these teams making a step forward, and whoever wins this one gets a chance to make a statement against number 1 Marist coming up at 5:30. The Red Foxes had some fascinating games this year with both of these teams. That's a called strike on the outer half. Both of Maris's games with Sacred Heart were walk-off bunts. And then against Quinnipiac, 2 one-run wins. Bobcats led early in the Game 3 finale before the Red Foxes took control later on. 1-2. Grounded right side of LaCrone. Fields will take it to the bag for the second out, but the runners move up. So, here comes Riley Potter with 2 runners in scoring position. And her first time up, she drove one to the gap to bring home Apatiga with the game's first run.
Yeah, Potter's in a good spot to drive these 2 in and take the lead here.
Aaron Bombry awaits on deck. First offering. That's driven out to left field. There it goes. Goodbye home run, Riley Potter. And the Bobcats lead 5-3.
And Mike, guess what? That was on the first pitch once again.
Riley Potter in attack mode. Short and compact to the ball. She knew that one coming off the bat. Well, Caroline, we knew this. These two teams were going to entertain us today, and it has delivered on Thursday morning in Poughkeepsie.
It sure has.
We'll see if there's any more chapters left in this book, too, because you never know. But how about Potter today? The double in the second to bring home the first run. 3-run homer with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. This Bobcats lineup, again, it's pretty strong up and down.
It really is, and her teammates ahead of her put her in a good spot to score those runs.
Bobry with some pop here in the number 8 spot, and she has an RBI single in this one. That one is tipped into the glove for strike 1. A lot of high average and contact here as you put the ball in play, and sometimes you can give one a ride. For Riley Potter, her second home run of the season. What a time for her. Here's the 1-1 to Bombry. That one's skied. Right side, Barbera comes in, makes a running catch for out number 3. But the Bobcats reclaim the lead. Riley Potter, a 3-run homer, and after 5.5, it's this blast by Potter that gives the Bobcats a 5-3 lead.
Wow.
And back to Gartland Field we come. Bottom of the 6th inning, Quinnipiac now with a 5-3 lead over Sacred Heart. And now it's the 5, 6, and 7 part of the lineup as Alexa Barbera takes strike 1 against Shannon Kendall. Nicole Hankey, Catherine Burris await on deck, and now the count's 0-2. Barbera 0 for 2 in this contest. That one's upstairs. Both times she's found Kinsley Cox, first with a line drive, then with a ground ball. That one is right side, but down for a base hit. Digging for second is Barbera. She's heading for third. Here comes the throw. She slides in with a leadoff triple.
Mike, you don't see many triples on this field, do you?
No, and that's probably how you have to do it. With the relatively short fence, you're not going to get it into the gap very much unless you can fly. But into the right field corner, it's your best chance at one. It landed just in fair territory. The aggressive send, and here comes Barbera now on third with none out. Now Hankey. Strike 1. Well, she's won right side 3 times today. The third one was the charm.
It was right in between the line, and she made it all the way to third.
1-1. Ground ball gets through for a base hit. Barbera is in. The game is 5-4. Thought this book had another chapter.
You called that one.
He just drives that one back through the middle. And we are going to have a pinch hitter for Sacred Heart. This is Catherine Hodel grabbing a bat and stepping in. Hodel, a 261 hitter. 23 at-bats this year, but a 406 on-base percentage. That one's grounded, and Pam London, former middle infielder, still has some good hands. Hodel with an on-base percentage of 406. Again, limited at-bats, but she's drawn 5 walks and has been hit by 2 pitches. So
yeah, let's see if she tries to move the runner over here with a bunt.
That could be a thought as well. That one misses away. DeMont fakes the snap throw. So, top half of this inning, 3-run homer, Riley Potter, Quinnipiac 2-run lead. Barbera, triple. Hankey, single. The tying run is on base. The go-ahead run's at the plate. That's chopped at the plate.
It looked like the runner was in motion there at first base.
Now, again, here's where it gets tough, right? You want to get somebody in the scoring position. But DeMont, oh, she is tough to run on, though. 1-2 pitch. Cut on and miss, strike 3. Kendall pumps her fist. She knew that was a big strikeout for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. DeMont with the snap throw, and Hankey was able to get back. So now it's Freed, who's 0 for 2. Ground out to short, fly out to right. That one misses low and in. So, here's the mission. Unless there's another double play ball in store, which Vega turned an impressive one last inning, if one of the next 2 Pioneers gets on, here comes LaCrone. Ground ball left side, gets into left field for a base hit. So the Pios now have first and second with 1 out, and Jess Brown is the hitter. And Caroline, we did see a double play last inning, but you would have to think, and actually looks like it's not going to be Jess Brown. They're going to go to a pinch hitter here. This is Savannah Moore, who has grabbed a bat. Savannah Moore, 203 hitter this year. She does have 4 doubles and a home run. Batting in a big spot in this game for Jess Brown. Blowing in. Hankey kind of veered off second a little bit there, and DeMont making sure she didn't get too far. DeMont's got a great arm behind the plate. 1-0. Swung on and missed. So unless there's a double play ball here, we'll see LaCrone in a huge spot. And DeMont was just trying to shake out her glove there. 5-4, bottom of the 6th, 1-1 with 1 out. And that one's grounded foul. Quinnipiac scored 2 in the top of the 2nd. Sacred Heart 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. Pios got 1 in the 5th to take their first lead at 3-2, which lasted until Riley Potter's 3-run homer in the top of the 6th. But the Pios, down 2 coming into this half inning, have already cut their deficit in half. Can they cut it out completely? That's what's coming next here. That one misses away. Good job by Moore of eyeballing that. I'll tell you, Caroline, it's tough to come in off the bench in a spot like this. Good plate discipline.
That was a tough pitch to take. It really was. She does a great job there.
Count 2-2 to number 22, who's pinch hitting for number 2. Grounded left side softly, and there's contact. And the out is called. So now there's going to be a conference in the circle because there are now runners on first and second with 2 out, and El Lacrone is the hitter. And there's the collision right there.
Yeah, I mean, Apatika does the right thing and runs into the base runner. As a shortstop, as an infielder, you're supposed to go and play that ball.
That's her job to do that. Do you ever remember having any collisions like that when you played short?
Maybe once or twice, but at the same time, like I said, you're supposed to do that and try to get that runner out. It's not supposed to be like a real big collision, but it's just enough contact to make it seem like you're going for the ball.
Essentially draw the call.
Right.
So this is as big as a big spot gets, right? It's first and second. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. El Lacrone is 3 for 3 today with 2 doubles and a home run. There is technically an open base, it's just not first base. Sierra Bender awaits on deck. First off into Lacrone. That's a base hit to right field. They're going to send Freed. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. El Lacrone ties it at 5 in the 6th. She's 4 for 4.
It's a great piece of hitting on an outside pitch, driving the ball to right field.
We'll get another look. She just inside outs it.
Lacrone goes up there looking for strikes. She really does.
As leadoff hitters come, you see different types of leadoff hitters. I mean, you did it yourself for 4+ years, and then you got confirmed power hitter status. As Bender is the hitter. We'll talk a little bit more about that, assuming Bender doesn't swing at the first pitch. Blowing in. But, you know, about some of the nuance of hitting in the leadoff spots, like, hey, sometimes you're trying to work a count. Sometimes you just want to hit it where somebody isn't.
Yeah, I mean, as a leadoff hitter, I see a lot of it nowadays. Even Peyton Pusey from Marist, she goes up there swinging. She really does. I mean, you see that with both Quinnipiac and Sacred Heart's leadoff hitters.
Count now 1-1 to Sierra Bender, who's 0 for 3. She did reach on an error in the 3rd, has a fly out to center and a fly out to left in her other 2 at bat. So after the 3-run homer by Parr, Sacred Heart has struck for 2 to tie the game, and timeout is called. And that looks like this is the 2nd time this thing that DeMont has had an issue with the glove. Payo's up to 9 hits this game. And that's Bender trying to go the other way. A couple times we've seen in this inning, Sacred Heart's had success going in the other way. That's how this started, with a triple by Barbera going down the right field line.
You're right. That seems like a while ago now.
Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 hitters now in this bottom of the 6th. Bender bidding for her first hit of the day. If she gets one, she's going to put her team in the lead. Count 1 and 2. That's lined into left center field. Hochstetter, it gets down. 1 run is in. Here comes Lacrone. It's a 2-run double by Sierra Bender, and Sacred Heart is in the lead, 7-5.
Hochstetter did her best to try to get that. I really thought she was very close. Very close.
We talked about the play that she made on Lily Ramelis against Marist a couple of weeks ago. That was very nearly a carbon copy of it. The left-handed Hochstetter going into the gap, trying to reach up with the glove hand, trying to make the play, and she just missed it. The effort was A+.
It sure was. Bender does a great job on that pitch, driving that to left center and putting her team in the lead.
Now it's Ella Stoops. We mentioned the series that she had last weekend, the 4-hit game. Stoops tries to go the other way, and she lines it right side foul. Thankfully, just outside of the Sacred Heart dugout. Stoops had an RBI single her last time up, but Caroline, like you said, that seems like that was about an hour ago. It's not a different game at this point. There are a lot of non-zero numbers on this scoreboard recently. That ground ball goes just wide of third. There have been runs scored in the last 3 half innings. The Sacred Heart took a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 5th. Quinnipiac 3 in the top of the 6th. Sacred Heart 4 in the bottom of the 6th. What a game. And we're just getting going today. Payo's up to 10 hits. Stoops, as we mentioned, 1 for 3. If she gets on, Charlene Davis will come up as the 9th hitter of the inning, but Kendall had 0-2. That's grounded up the middle for a base hit. Fielded by Fogg, and she will get it in, so the runner will hold. Bender will stay at third. Stoops now has 2 hits in this one, and that'll bring up Charlene Davis.
That was almost a carbon copy of her hit previously, right back up the middle.
Send it back where it came from. Fogg attacked that one in center field. That's a great job by an experienced center fielder of making sure that runner at third wasn't going to come home. And a good safe play there by Pam London, a veteran coach coaching third base.
Yeah, I agree with you. She obviously wants that run, but she doesn't necessarily need it.
So, Sacred Heart, number of substitutions made. This is Tegan Dwyer coming in to pinch run at first base. So Davis is the 9th hitter in the inning. First and third with 2 outs. That one misses away. DeMont fakes the snap throw. First and third situation, but Sacred Heart not a team that runs a lot. And with DeMont there, not sure if you want to even try to get cute in this situation. Besides, the way your hitters are swinging the bats right now, ride them. Ground ball to short, fielded by Apatiga, throw to first in time for the 3rd out. But the Pios strike for 4. And after 6 innings, Sacred Heart leads Quinnipiac 7-5.
To the top of the 7th, Sacred Heart 7, Quinnipiac 5.
Leading as we go to the top of the 7th, Pam London has gone to her bullpen, and this is Emily Campion who is getting the call. Campion, a first year from Excelsior, Minnesota, making her way to the stage in Poughkeepsie in a big spot here, trying to give Sacred Heart its first win in the MAAC championship in program history. So, Caroline, we've talked about the Sacred Heart staff and how Sam Kowalski is such an outstanding pitcher and two-way player for this team. She was a first-team All-MAAC selection, even though she hasn't played the last month of the year. But Campion and Heath had to step up in her absence. And really, I mean, this game has been a microcosm of what Sacred Heart has done this year, as Campion trying to close this one out, and tough part of the lineup coming up.
Tough part of the lineup, but I think Coach London makes a great call bringing in Campion, giving Quinnipiac a new look.
Campion on the season, 4-7 record. This is her 8th relief appearance. She's thrown 74 innings this year. If she gets this save, it would be the first of her collegiate career, and wow, what a time it would be. But here we go, 9-1-2 in the Quinnipiac lineup, and some more dangerous hitters lurking if there's traffic. Noelle Reed will start it off. I think she got that out of her system now, my guess.
I think so too.
And she bounces back with a strike. The circle can be a very lonely place to be. Campion, the freshman from Minnesota. And you know what? You have to have a short memory a lot of times. Count now 1-1 to Reed. Reed is 0 for 2 in this one, reaching in on an error her last time up. There's a bunt. Good bunt to LaCrone, to the second baseman covering in time. Bender gets there for the 3-4 put out.
And I think there's going to be a challenge there. What do you think, Mike?
Well, it would be a great time to go for one. 7th inning, huge spot. And indeed, this will be our first video review of the championship. As we'll get another look at this.
It's a great bunt.
Now remember, the call on the field was out. You know, I didn't even notice the bounce the first time.
Me neither. It's a tough play right there because it doesn't look like she has complete control of the ball.
Well, we're going to find out soon enough. All right, it is indeed overturned. And Caroline, I think what you mentioned was the key part of the play, right? That it was not settled in the glove. That was the difference, right?
And back to the top of the lineup we go, Mike.
As I'm furiously trying to change my scorecard from 3-4 put out to bunt single by Reed. But in that situation, you can't roll that ball out there any better. This is Fox slicing it into left field, but it's caught there by Brown for out number 1. Seriously, what a great bunt by Noelle Reed, though.
That was a great bunt.
You drop it first base side, sure. You force some hustle. LaCrone did everything that she could. Great job by Bender, too, getting there.
Right, I think she caught them by surprise a little bit. She definitely caught me by surprise.
So here we go. Vega represents the tying run with 1 out in the top of the 7th. Reed the runner on first. Upstairs. And oh, by the way, Quinnipiac's leader in RBIs is on deck. As now this is the part of the lineup where you have the back-to-back first-team All-MAAC selections. This game has not lacked for theater. Let's see if there's another chapter left in the book. 1-0. This is away, but that's a nice stop by Davis because if that gets to the backstop, you have a runner in scoring position.
Like you mentioned before, both catchers have done a phenomenal job today.
2 of the best that this conference has to offer on display here. (2-0). This is upstairs. Again, whoever loses this one, tough and tight turnaround. They have the next game against Siena in a you have to win to stay in the championship. The winner gets to have a nice lunch and face Marist at 5:30. Called strike.
It's a good take by Vega there, 3-0. She's a very confident hitter. You can see it in her approach, the way she walks up to the plate, and she knows what she's looking for.
Let's see if she gets one she likes on a 3-1 count. Ball 4. The tying run is on base. And Pam London will take a visit to the circle. So Vega passes the baton. What a spot in this game, Caroline. The last 3 half innings have all had runs scored. The 6th inning was theater.
This has been nothing short of entertaining, that's for sure, Mike.
I'm happy to be here and doing this game with you. We've had a good one. We hope you at home are enjoying this as much as we are bringing it to you. The second game of the 2026 MAAC Softball Championship between two teams that had an exciting series last weekend, so much back and forth from one game to the next. And the third game of that series resembles this one in some ways too. Back and forth and coming right down to the finish. Can Quinnipiac get the lead back? It's DeMott, 1 for 3, singled and scored her last time up. That was leading off the 6th. That seemed like that was like Wednesday at this point. First pitch swing, ground ball to third, fair ball, steps on the back for one, back to first, double play, 8-5-3, double play, and Sacred Heart has its first win in the MAAC Championship in school history. The first year Ella Stoops helps out her first year pitcher Campion. What a game. And Ella Stoops, how many big plays has she made over the course of the last couple of weeks? Quinnipiac has to play Siena coming up next. Sacred Heart against Marist at 5:30. Oh, another one between those two. William Rosen is down on the field. Our player of the game had 4 hits today. The head coach, Pam London, the veteran head coach, what a job she's done navigating this team coming down the stretch and in this game as well. Let's go over to William Rosen with Pam London. William, take it away.
Here with Coach London. Coach, congratulations on that really thrilling victory. How were you guys able to retaliate and come back and end up winning this one?
I just think the kids are ready. They want it, and they were going to fight. They were going to fight to the end, and I love the fight. We fought for the last 2 weeks, so we're getting kind of used to this.
Another game today. That'll be against number 2 seed Fairfield. Yep. What's the mentality heading up against the Stags?
We just got to stay hot, right? And I think we play Marist, right?
It will be the next game later today, yeah.
Right. I thought you said Stags. I'm sorry. My bad. Yeah, I think we just got to keep our hot hitting going and support our pitching staff. That's what we got to do.
How about Ella Crone today? 4 hits. Unbelievable. We'll bring Elle in. Elle, what a day for you. You had a home run, you had 2 doubles, you had 4 hits. What was working for you on the bat?
I'm just trusting myself and trusting our process to it. We practiced so much this week and we really worked on. We faced them last weekend, so it was just trusting in what we, the work we put in.
A little uncertainty on when you would actually play, but you come to the field, you make this major performance. What was the mindset heading into today?
Just play our ball, play who we are. If we stick to our game, we can beat anyone, and we know it.
Well, good luck as you continue this tournament. We'll see you later today.
Thank you.
Mike, Caroline?
William, thank you so much. Sacred Heart, for the first time in program history, you can do that. Ella Crone sticks it on the board after she stuck 4 hits in this one. What a day already. Coming up next, it's Siena against Quinnipiac in our first elimination game. Coming up at 3, Iona Fairfield. 5:30, Sacred Heart Marist, the third part of the trilogy. Caroline, it was a thrill to call this game with you.
Lots of softball left to play today, Mike.
And that's where we're headed. For Caroline, I'm Mike. We'll be back soon with Siena Quinnipiac. You've been watching the 2026 MAAC Softball Championship on ESPN+.